Namaste friends, I am Dr. Raghavendra Pratap Raman and today in this video I am going to tell you about a very important breathing practice pranayam, that is Bhastika pranayam, bellows breath. You can say it English bellows breath and in Sanskrit this is Bhastika pranayam. A forceful inhalation and exhalation take place in this process, in this pranayam. There are a lot of benefits of this pranayam. I will tell you all the benefits and precautions, contraindications also. But first, let us see how we will practice this Bhastika pranayams correctly. For practicing Bhastika pranayam means bellows breath, the sitting position is important. The ideal position, the ideal pose for practicing Bhastika pranayams is lotus pose or Siddhasana. This is lotus pose. But the beginners find it difficult to practice to sit in this lotus pose, then you may sit in Siddhasana. Siddhasana is this. The ankles should be up each other. This is Siddhasana. If you find difficulty in sitting Siddhasana, you may sit in easy pose. This is easy pose. But remember, lotus pose is ideal pose. So I will sit in lotus pose. It is important because the lotus pose gives a firm base, so your body is steady while practicing this pranayam. So this is sitting position. And next point is important that your spine, neck and head should be in a straight line. You should not sit like this. You should not loosen your body. You should not much tight. You do not strain in your body. There should be relaxation in your body, but your body should be erect, straight. Relax your body and mind. And there should not be extra tension in your body like this. Many people sit in this. When we say that straight your body, make your spine straight, they sit in this. This is wrong. Bend your elbow a little bit like this and let your chest come out and your spine should be straight, your head should be in a vertical line. Friends, let me tell you the breathing technique of these pranayams because breathing is important. When you sit in this position, take a deep and slow breath in and breathe out forcefully and quickly. Immediately afterward, breathe in forcefully. Means now the inhalation and exhalation will be forceful. This is important. There should be 10 inhalation and exhalation. This will be one round. During inhalation, our diaphragm goes down and abdominal muscles move forward. And when you exhale, our diaphragm moves up and abdominal muscles contract and moves inward. This process will be repeated again and again during our breathing process. One more thing, there should be no movement in ribs, in neck or in head or in neck. The noise, a little bit forceful noise, should come out from the nose, not from the throat. Means when there is forceful and quick inhalation and exhalation, a sound comes out, but this sound should come out from your nose. You should not shake your body, the whole body should be relaxed, steady. The movement will be in the abdominal muscles. Let's see. Slow and deep inhalation, forceful exhalation. Now inhalation and exhalation will be forceful 10 times. At last, take a deep inhalation and breathe it out slowly. This is one round for beginners. 10 inhalation and exhalation, forceful and quick inhalation and exhalation is one round. One thing to be noted that the forceful inhalation and exhalation should be equal. It should be equal. The force during inhalation and the force during exhalation should be equal. There should be no difference in this. 10 times inhalation and exhalation is one round for beginners. But When you accustomed, when your abdominal muscles get enough stronger, you may increase the rounds, the number of respiration, the number of inhalation and exhalation can be increased after your muscles, abdominal muscles get stronger. The speed should also may be increased after regular practice of this. There is three types of Bhastrika on the basis of speed. Slow Bhastrika, medium Bhastrika and fast Bhastrika. When you practice slow Bhastrika, this is ideal for all. The beginners, the sick person after sickness and the weak and the old person, the old age man also can practice this slow Bhastrika. In slow Bhastrika, the inhalation and exhalation is slow like this. Means one respiration in 2 seconds. During medium Bhastrika, the inhalation and exhalation is 1 second. And in fast Bhastrika, there is 2 inhalation and exhalation in 1 second. Let's see now medium Bhastrika. Like this. And now fast Bhastrika. Remember, fast Bhastrika should be practiced only after your abdominal muscles get stronger. I will advise you for slow Bhastrika or medium Bhastrika because it is ideal for all. Some people feels faintness or dizziness or perspiration or extra heat in the body during the practice. It means you are not practicing in proper manner. At that time, stop the practice and consult any yoga teacher. Now we will talk about the contraindications of these pranayams. A person suffering from high blood pressure, heart disease, hernia, dizziness, epilepsy, ulcer, gastric ulcer, dysentery, diarrhea, they should not practice these pranayams. In the case of brain tumor, they also should not practice these pranayams. You know that these pranayams needs very much physical energy in the beginning. So the weak person, the sick person should start very slowly, and before consulting a competent yoga teacher, you should not practice these pranayams. I am telling about the weak and sick person. These pranayams increase the metabolic rate because it generates heat on our body. So in summer season, you may decrease the number of rounds, but this is very good for cold season, for winter season. If you are practicing in summer season, in summer, then after practicing this Bhastrika pranayams, practice any other pranayam with cooling effect. You may practice Sitali pranayam, cooling breath pranayam. Immediately after this will balance the heat of your body. While practicing this Bhastrika pranayams, if you feel any type of uneasiness or any problem in your body, stop this pranayam, relax your body, and after that you can continue this pranayam. The most important physiological effect of Bhastrika pranayam is on our brain and heart. When you practice Bhastrika pranayam, it stimulates the circulation of cerebral fluid and increases the compression and decompression upon the brain. And in the result, it gives a smooth massage to our brain muscles. Bhastrika pranayam gives a clarity in the mind and it increases one-pointedness. It calms our mind, so it prepares our mind for meditation practice. Bhastrika is also very good for our heart because when you practice Bhastrika, the movement of diaphragm ups and down, these movements generate a smooth massage on our heart region and heart muscles, so our heart muscles get stronger. This is very good for lungs and whole respiratory system. You see the respiratory system is involved in this practice, so the muscles of our lungs, trachea and whole respiratory system is get stronger. So a person suffering from asthma, sinusitis can practice this pranayam. It is good for sinusitis, and if there is any inflammation in your respiratory tract, then this should be practiced. It will give benefit in this case. It alleviates the accumulation of cough in the throat. But in severe condition of asthma, one should consult a competent yoga guru. Bhastika pranayam purifies our blood because you see that in this practice there is forceful inhalation and exhalation. So the gaseous exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen is increased. We take enough oxygen and exhale out maximum carbon dioxide. So the metabolic process is increased in the cells and Bhastika washes out the waste product with the toxins from our body. And in the result, it purifies our blood. Bhastrika is very much beneficial for our abdominal region also. It improves our digestion, it increases the appetite. If anyone has sluggish digestive organ, they can practice this Bhastrika pranayam because when your abdomen up, move forward and inward, there is a smooth massage of all organs. So the hormonal secretions increased and the digestive process is increased, the intestine, the stomach, the liver, the pancreas get a smooth massage. So a person suffering from gastric problem, constipation, and the slow digestive process, slow digestion, they can practice this Bhastika pranayam for a better digestive organ. So friends, this was Bhastika pranayams, practice Bhastika pranayams after practicing any other asanas, yoga posture. This is very good for you. You can include it in your daily yoga routine. I will tell you about any other yoga posture and yogi pranayams. Till then, practice yoga, stay fit and healthy. Wish you good health. Thank you. Namaste.